John Eats Cheap, our freezer pantry project continues. I'm going to make a Bolognese. We used to have a restaurant near us called Alice's. Started like in the 40s, and it was just an Italian grandma, and she made this sauce that she called gravy. And it wasn't like a traditional spaghetti sauce. It was more of a Bolognese, just kind of ground up meat, and it didn't have a lot of Italian flavor, but it did have good vegetable flavor: onion, garlic, celery, and carrots. Beef broth base with tomato sauce and tomato paste, ground beef and ground pork. So let's get started on it. So the first thing we're going to do is get our veggies and just kind of cut them up a little. Just give them a little bit of a chop. Still leaving them good size. And these veggies, by the way, are left over when we had some chicken wings at a restaurant a week or so ago. And we brought home all the garnish because I knew I was going to be making some Bolognese. These I probably don't really need to cut. They're already good and small. Those go into the saucepan. I'm going to cut up an onion, or most of an onion here. And I'm just going to quarter it because we're going to just be straining these out after it cooks. And a whole bunch of garlic. So I'm just going to get some cloves of garlic here. Again, I'm not going to mince these. I'm going to leave them whole, but I am going to smash them for better flavor.
Are you going to make Alice's salad dressing to go with this?
Oh, maybe we should. That's a pretty basic salad dressing. And yes, we do have lettuce, so we'll have a vegetable or a side. That's nice. This was always fun when you would eat at Alice's. You would hear this sound in the kitchen all the time because they were smashing garlic.
And it was just an old house.
Yeah, it was a house that they turned into a restaurant. So I am gonna peel the paper off that, but I'm not gonna worry about taking the stems off because, as I said, we're gonna fish these out. All right, veggies are all in the saucepan, so now I'm gonna add my quart of beef broth out of the pantry, so we're clearing that out. And we are just gonna bring this to a boil and then just let it simmer for 45 minutes or an hour. Just get all that great vegetable and garlic and onion flavor out of there. So while that broth is cooking, we're gonna brown our ground beef, pound of ground beef, and a pound of ground pork. Not sausage, ground pork. All right, so we simmered our beef broth with those carrots, celery, onions, and garlic for about an hour. And now I know this is not an exact Bolognese. I know they like to grind it up, mush it up, keep the veggies in there. I don't. I just like the flavor from it. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm just going to pull these veggies out.
We've never been accused of being terribly authentic.
We have been accused of being non-authentic, but we always say, no, we do what we like. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, you can certainly, and you know what? I could eat all of these. This is good flavor in these. We could have this as a side dish, and I'd be fine with that. I just don't want it in my pasta sauce. So now into the veggie-flavored beef broth. I have a small can of tomato paste. Get as much out as I can. And then we're going to whisk that in to make it nice and smooth. Tomato paste thickens it up a little, and great flavor, really concentrated tomato flavor. So whisk that up in the broth. All right, so there's my pound of ground beef, pound of ground pork, and we are gonna add our large can. This is 29 ounces of tomato sauce. Add that in. And now our quart of beef stock with tomato paste. And we're going to heat this up to a simmer. All right, got that up to a little bit of a simmer. Gonna add some salt and lots of black pepper. Mix that in and just let it simmer and cook down a little bit. And this is how we make our favorite Alice's salad dressing. It's just corn oil, vinegar, and lots of garlic. Cloves of garlic. I smash these up, get the good flavor out of them, and then just kind of mince them up a little. When we would go to Alice's, it was never a secret because everybody smelled like garlic, because you got the house dressing, which is just like a vinaigrette garlic dressing. And it was so good. And we know how to make it because you used to be able to stop by and bring your own container and they would make some for you. And you just watch them make it. That's how we knew it was corn oil and vinegar and garlic and just a little salt. So there we go. That's about the size they go in. So you do your typical 3-to-1 ratio of oil and vinegar. So I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup of corn oil. This will make a lot of dressing, but we love eating it.
Oh, it's so good.
And go up to make it a full cup by adding the vinegar. All that chopped garlic going in. And yes, that's raw, it's not roasted, because that's the way they did it.
It just gets better every day.
And to that, they would add a pinch of salt. And that's it. We're going to mix that up and put it on a salad. So our sauce has been simmering, about 45 minutes. Now we're going to take the motorboat and just get it really finely ground. Got to be careful or it'll splash. We just want it to be that meat really incorporated into the sauce, real small. And this is where, when you do this, if you leave the veggies in, it'll grind those veggies up. But I just like the flavor of the veggies instead of the texture too. All right, so the Alice's salad, here's the dressing. Remember, it's corn oil, vinegar, and garlic. It separates, so you really need to mix it up. Her salad was just iceberg lettuce because the dressing is the star.
And everybody had to eat it. You
Yeah.
couldn't have anybody not eat it.
Or the garlic would blow you away. And I'm serious, you see these chunks of garlic, that was in her dressing.
So good.
One more. Then we got some left over. Mix it up. Hey, look at that. Found 2 breadsticks in the freezer because I told Mrs. Cheap, we don't have any rolls or garlic bread. But we do have some breadsticks. So I baked those like you're supposed to. Get a little garlic butter on them. Yeah.
It's going to be a feast.
Almost all the food groups. So the Bolognese, we finish off with about half a cup of milk. I've seen some places use evaporated milk as well. That just, oh man, it smells so good. Smell those veggies in the sauce.
I'm hungry.
Get that back up to simmer and we'll be ready to eat. So there we go. Now at Alice's, they would bring out a bowl of spaghetti and a bowl of sauce and just say, tell me when to stop. They would just load you up. The spaghetti and the gravy. Oh, this is so good. Veggie, beef, just like that. And we're going to have enough to freeze. And I know it's the pantry freezer project, but we're going to freeze this because it's very, very good. Add some, I got to go the other way. Wait a minute. I don't know which way I'm going here. That's the way to go. Add a little Parmesan. Add a little to the salad too. Add a breadstick. And there you go. Oh, I suppose I should try this. Even though Mrs. Cheap keeps raving about how good it smells, and it does smell good. Meaty. It's like I'm at Alice's. We're ready to eat. Thanks for watching John H. Cheap.